Hello, my name is Chris, and today I'd like to talk to you about resistance. I'd like to talk about that internal, often subconscious resistance that so many of us put up when we are trying to quit smoking. When one part of us is striving towards freedom from our addiction, and yet there is another part of us that is resisting that success and that ends up self-sabotaging our own efforts to quit smoking. It's like deep down we know that quitting smoking is the right move for us. We know that it is the best decision we could make, and at some level we want that. And yet at another level, we want to stay where we are, and we want to stay as smokers because we see it as familiar, we see it as safe, we see it, even if only subconsciously, as being something that benefits us in some way, and we are not ready, maybe even afraid, to let go of this safe, familiar thing that benefits us. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about why I believe we put up that resistance and what we can do to finally let go of it. Before I do, it seems appropriate to just step aside for a minute and address the obvious. The whole world has been cancelled. Everything has gone crazy at the time that I'm making this video. So I just wanted to say that wherever you are, whatever you are doing in the midst of this pandemic, I hope you are safe and I hope you are well, especially if you are isolating and you are alone right now. I am right here with you. I've been trying my best to interact more, to respond to more comments, to participate more in our Finding Freedom Facebook group, because I really believe that although physically, yes, what we all need to be doing right now is staying further apart. Mentally and emotionally and spiritually, what we all need to do is to be coming closer together. I may make a video just about quitting smoking during the whole pandemic thing that is going on, but that's not for now. For now, I just want to talk about this resistance. As I say, quite often when we quit smoking, there can be two forces at play. One force strives towards freedom. One force knows that if we quit smoking, we'll be healthier, we'll be happier, we'll have more money in our pockets. We won't be able to spend it because all the shops have just closed, but we'll have more money in our pockets. And we want that, and we want to move towards it. So we start off on that quit journey. And yet another part of us wants to be able to get home because, today's been terrible, I'll just have a cigarette. Part of us wants to have that cigarette when we're waiting for the bus, because for so long it has become this familiar crutch that we use to get through every emotion and every single situation. And then when we try to quit smoking, the primitive part of our brain kicks in. That primitive part is there, even though its methods aren't always helpful. Deep down at its core, the primitive part of our brain wants to protect us and keep us safe. So if we have spent so many years convincing ourselves that smoking is helping us get through things, then it's no wonder when we try to quit smoking, we're resistant to let go of this thing that we've become convinced is helping us in some way. Again, when we say it out loud, there's no logic in that because we know that smoking isn't really helping us. But the primitive part of us, that sort of, that side of the survival instinct doesn't deal with logic, it deals with emotion, and it deals with, oh my goodness, these cigarettes are my crutch for getting through life. Don't take them away from me. So then every time we try and quit, we sabotage our efforts so that we can stay in this safe, familiar zone. One of the things that I found helpful to get out of this way of thinking was just to listen to the kind of story that I told myself about what cigarettes were doing for me. More specifically, to listen to the kind of stories I was telling myself about what life would be like once I quit smoking. There are certain stories I would tell myself that I've spoken to other people who are quitting smoking, and their stories are very similar. When we start thinking about quitting smoking, we get into this mindset of if I quit smoking, I will have to deal with stressful situations without smoking. If I quit smoking, I will have to get through my working day without a cigarette. If I quit smoking, I will have to go here, do this, face that person, tackle this challenge without cigarettes. And when we put it like that, it's no wonder we resist, because what we are telling ourselves is that this is going to be hard, this is going to be difficult, and we are setting ourselves up to lose something. We are setting ourselves to go without. If I quit smoking, already we're telling ourselves, well, I might not succeed. So we're planting that in our brains. If I quit smoking, I will have to. In other words, this is going to be a chore. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be something that I'm not going to enjoy. When we tell ourselves that story, none of that sounds good at all. So we go, well, screw that. At one level, I'm going to try and quit smoking, but I'm going to rein it in and stay safe, because if I quit smoking, I have to do this, this, and this. Sounds awful. What we can do is to start changing that story. And we don't have to change it very much. We change a couple of little words. Let's change if to when. Let's stop saying if I quit smoking as if it's something that we have no control over or may not succeed. And let's start saying when I quit smoking, because we all have it within us to do it. And there is no doubt in my mind that whatever your current situation is right now, you are capable of quitting smoking. So let's change if to when. When I quit smoking already just sounds better. When I quit smoking, now let's change I will have to I will be able to. When I quit smoking, I will be able to face stressful situations without smoking. When I quit smoking, I will be able to deal with work, to deal with my boss, to deal with my kids without a cigarette. When I quit smoking, I will be able to go here, do this, face that person, get through a global pandemic without a cigarette. I will be able to. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that just sounds way more awesome, right? We're changing the story. I will be able to when I quit smoking. Not only does it sound better, not only is it much more positive, it is absolutely, unequivocally the truth. It's been a few years now since I quit smoking. That doesn't mean that I don't face stressful situations or find myself dealing with unpleasant emotions or unpleasant things that I don't really want to do. But at no point does it ever enter my head to go to pick up a cigarette to deal with that situation. When I'm stressed, when I have to deal with an unpleasant day at work, I no more think about smoking than I think about stripping off naked, running through the supermarket singing Backstreet Boys' greatest hits. That never comes into my head, although now it's a thought I've put into your head, and I'm really sorry, that's scary. But it never occurs to me because it makes no sense. Just like people who have never smoked face situations and their coping mechanisms do not involve cigarettes, neither do mine, and neither will yours. I've spoken in the past about at some point we reach a stage in our quits when we are exactly, our mindset at least is exactly the same as that of someone who has never smoked. When I used to smoke, one of my biggest smoking times was at work. I'd use it, every time I would take a break from work, I would go and have a cigarette. Now that I've quit smoking, I don't take my break and then spend the whole break worrying that I'm not smoking. It just never enters my head. I don't think about smoking. I don't think about running naked through the supermarket. I just think about, oh great, I've got this break and I can use it productively now. I mean, I don't even, consciously, I never think, great, I'm not smoking, I can do what I want. But, with hindsight, yeah. Like I have all this extra time now that I don't have to smoke. I'm no longer obligated to smoke to to justify a decision that I made years ago. I'll get to that in a moment. We tell ourselves, if I quit smoking, I will have to do everything differently. I'll have to change everything. I'll have to become a different person. Let's change that story. Let's change if to when. Let's change I'll have to I will have the opportunity to. When I quit smoking, I will have the opportunity to change everything. I will have the opportunity to do things differently. I will be able to stop defining myself by something that I do. For so long, the story that we tell ourselves is, I am a smoker. You are not a smoker. But Chris, I am a smoker. I've just smoked 20 cigarettes in the past day. I've got a cigarette in my hand now. Chris, I am a smoker. No, you're not. Smoking is something that we do. It is not something that we are. You weren't born a smoker. When all this is over and you've successfully quit, you won't die a smoker. Smoking was just something that you did for one period of your life. And the only reason that you did it was because at some point, perhaps many years ago, in completely different circumstances, you made a decision that smoking was the best thing to do in that situation. And then for years, you had to justify making that decision, so you kept smoking. I kept smoking, we kept smoking. But we are not smokers. We are just people who smoked for a small period of time. Now we no longer are. Like I've said before, people who have never smoked don't define themselves as non-smokers. People who have never smoked don't define themselves by their relationship to cigarettes, and nor do we have to. So we can tell ourselves, instead of telling ourselves, I don't know who I will be if I quit smoking because smoking is such a part of my identity, we can change that story and say, when I quit smoking, I will finally be able to be the kind of person that I was always meant to be, rather than the person that I became as a result of one wrong turn that I took many years ago under very different circumstances. This is about, to an extent, trusting the process. We gain nothing from smoking. We gain so much from letting go of this story that we tell ourselves that we need cigarettes. We really don't. And if that isn't inspiring you with confidence right now, if you're like, Chris, I get this at some level, but I need some practical way to put this into action. Great. Write it down. Talk it over with somebody. It may be that you're not even fully aware of what it is you are holding on to. You're not even fully aware of what aspect of smoking you're not quite ready to let go of. Journal, write it down, spend some time thinking about it. Why am I so reluctant to let go? What do I believe I gain by smoking? And then realize down the line when you've quit, whatever you thought you were gaining, you know, it won't be an issue for you. It just won't. And if that still isn't enough to just let go of it, you can devise alternatives. I can't let go of this thing that when my kids are driving me insane, I need to go in the other room and have another cigarette to calm down. And Chris is telling me that once I've quit smoking, I will be able to deal with my kids without going into a room and smoking, but I'm not convinced yet. So what I will do is I will write down some alternatives. When everything is driving me crazy, I'll still go into the other room, but I will exercise, go for a walk, do some breathing exercises, meditate, play guitar, jump up and down, who knows, whatever it is that you need to do. Eventually you won't even need to do that, because not smoking will just become normal, and you'll be like, why the heck was I resisting this for so long? Because life as a non-smoker is so good. Hope you found that helpful today. I hope I've said something that is useful to you. As I mentioned at the start of this video, we have our Quit Smoking support group on Facebook. It is facebook.com/groups/findingfreedom1. The link, as always, is down in the description below. We are building this wonderful community of people at all stages of the quit process, supporting each other every single day. And I am so proud to be part of this group. Quick plug for my book. It is called Quit Smoking and Be Happy. It is available in ebook form from Google Play and Amazon, and it is also available in print form on Amazon. You can go to chrisskoyles.com/book and get all the links to the relevant Amazon page for your country if you want to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Stay safe, stay well, and stay indoors. See you later. Bye-bye.